Hi guys, it's July 28th and today we're going to discuss the global market updates. My name is Nikki, also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching the Awesome 10X Live. So let's go discuss what's happening and what are the most important things that's going to happen within the week. So today, I think everybody is aware that Amazon is going to testify to the U.S. House Committee. And this is actually required reading. I want all of my listeners, all of my viewers to actually read this blog that Amazon released. It's actually a very good read. You want to actually, you do yourself a service. Take 10, 15 minutes to read that. For those who aren't aware, of course, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, Apple's Tim Cook, Alphabet's Sundar Pichai, your FANG names are actually going to appear before the House Judiciary Committee's antitrust panel tonight to answer allegations that the companies are too dominant or have harmed competition. It's actually happening on July 30. So, yeah, July 29, July 30. So in tandem, of course, Facebook's gonna have their earnings report this week. So we've got a huge earnings week today, this week. For your earnings, I'd like to share that Starbucks actually surprised on the upside. Let's take a look at your news. Some of these big names actually reported a beat on earnings. We actually forecast that Starbucks was gonna beat. I actually found this surprising. Starbucks, eBay, Visa, they all beat on earnings. What started out as a fairly negative environment in Tuesday's pre-market trading accelerated even into the close ahead of some key earnings reports. The Nasdaq shed 1%, the Dow lost 0.77%, S&P fell 0.65% because Apple, Google, Facebook are yet to report. But so far, Starbucks actually closed a strong after-hours move. I think after hours, Starbucks is 7% higher at 79. Starbucks actually posted a bottom line loss that was better than expected. So 46 cents per share. They said that they lost about $3 billion. And they're actually trying to recover with the struggles of a shelter-in-place initiative. Revenues came in higher than expected at $4.2 billion versus $4.11 billion. Same-store sales were dismal. The global is negative 40%. The US is negative 41%. China is negative 19%, partially offset by a 25% increase in average ticket price. So the coffee giant actually posted a 19th quarter string of earnings beats, last missing in fiscal Q4 2015. You can learn more. I'll show to you a few things about the Starbucks earnings report later. Okay, so a few things. Visa also reported very well. The earnings all-stars, these are your Visas and MasterCards, never missed an earnings estimate since IPO in 2008. Once again, it beat on the bottom line, this time by 5 cents to $1.07 per share. Can you imagine like having a company never beating an earnings report? Visa, 12 years times 4, that's 48 quarters. Revenues in the quarter of 4.84 billion narrowly beat 4.81 billion that analysts were looking for. Total payments were just down 10%. Total processing was down 13% to $30.7 billion. Visa withdrew their full year guidance. So but that's a long winning streak that is still intact. eBay, they reported, so that shares are down 5%. eBay has been known as a big beneficiary of the pandemic realities. They rose 45% in the last 3 months. Their guidance was increased. Full year revenues was also increased to $10.75 billion, well beyond the consensus. No sugarcoating. Q2 earnings season will be a rough one. That said, many companies have so far been able to absorb the bad news pretty much in stride, a testament to good company leadership, as well as an investment scenario always on the lookout for a positive angle. So 3 earnings reports is good. Some bearish news for you. This is something that I am very bearish about. Mr. Donald Trump, the president of USA, actually is trying to prevent innovation. So Trump is trying to prevent immigrants to dream big and go to the United States for work. It's actually true that actually for all your families, they hire the top talent, and that talent is not necessarily an American. It could be a Chinese, could be a Filipino, it could be a Vietnamese, could be any country, right? So after the Supreme Court ruled that President Trump failed to present a valid rationale for ending DACA, the administration said it would conduct a comprehensive review of the program. Trump is delaying all the efforts to end the protection for immigrant dreamers. President Trump will not try again to immediately terminate President Barack Obama's program that protects young undocumented immigrants after the Supreme Court's decision to invalidate Mr. Trump's first attempt to make good on a crackdown that is at the core of his political identity. Instead, the administration announced a new restriction on the program known as Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which has allowed about 650,000 undocumented immigrants to live and work in the country legally. So amid a comprehensive review of the program, Chad Wolf, the acting Homeland Security Secretary, announced in a memo, immigrants already had protections to be allowed to renew their status under the program for 1 year rather than 2. The memo, which is intended to replace the one that originally established DACA in 2012, said that first-time applicants to the program would be rejected. So for those who are not aware, a lot of the best companies in the world that are listed in USA is not exactly an American per se, but actually an immigrant. We can name a few. Okay, so you know that Elon Musk is an immigrant. He has created Tesla, a $300 billion company today. So I don't understand why Trump does this. And then, of course, Facebook employs a lot of immigrants. So does Google. Of course, Google's Sundar Pichai. Sundar Pichai is an Indian. Microsoft's Satya Nadella is an Indian ethnicity. So if you keep on doing this, the talent will go somewhere else. And so I am very bearish about what this policy is doing to innovation. So let's go to some charts today. Yesterday, we've seen some news. So let's take a look. Okay, so let's take a look at the news. So Starbucks, let's take a look at your Starbucks. Okay, so Starbucks gave a surprise. A few things that I should note. I actually shared in my Faces Trader a few pandemic paradoxes. I'm not sure if this is a paradox for you, but it is a paradox for me. I was really surprised that this is the RV life. You've got recreational vehicles growing strong. Amazing growth for Thor Industries. So Thor Industries is a complete V-shaped reversal from about $30, 115 great earnings reports, a lot of sales. You could see straight from their sales. Thor sales went somewhere from about less than $2 billion to as high as $8 billion, a 4x increase in sales for RV, recreational vehicles. The industry is doing so well. And then this is something that I am obviously, maybe I'm not a drinker, but this might be very obvious for drinkers. SAM, ticker SAM, that is Boston Beer. Boston Beer from $280 to $840 since March. Great earnings reports. Boston Beer, I didn't really realize this, that during the pandemic, practically every American probably out there is drinking all day. So I didn't know that. So very strong moves, very strong moves. There's a lot of pandemic paradoxes to me. Maybe it's a paradox to you or not. Depends if you are truly doing your due diligence. Some of the paradoxes that I want to share is Wayfair. So Wayfair did very well. People were buying a lot of furniture. ATV, Polaris, apparently in a recession, people are riding their automobiles in the middle of nowhere with their helmets on. So I didn't know that Mattel, the perfect pastime of a pandemic is Uno. So the Uno card. So Mattel had great sales for Uno. So Mattel, of course, is a toy company. I never understood how this pandemic paradox is. Some are easy for me to understand. E-commerce, video games, online education, those seem to be easy, remote work. But yeah, I didn't realize that there were so many people playing Uno. So this one is growing so far, $6.50 to 11.30. Great earnings report for Mattel. Polaris is PII, recreational ATVs. So people were buying a lot, 36 to 105. Some of the winners of your pandemic. It's a pandemic paradox. Actually, it was shared by Mr. Jim Cramer. Tractor Supply, Scott's Miracle Grow. So a lot of people have been gardening during the pandemic. So Tesco, TSCO, doing well. Okay, 60 to 140. Tractor Supply, people are, what's that? People were planting their stuff. So Scott's Miracle Grow has done well. I mean, this week, I am actually interested in the earnings of Silic. So I'm interested in 5G. So far, the 5G CapEx plays are doing well. Skyworks did well. Akamai, I'm bullish in it, but I saw that after hours, it fell 4%. So nevertheless, I'm still bullish with Akamai, even if it's, I think, 4% down, 108 at the close. So after hours, I'll take a look at the earnings report, why people were selling it down. What's the reason? Because I actually like edge compute, all of that, CDN deliveries. So this is the world's largest content delivery network, Akamai. Okay, so all of the websites, all of the streaming, all of the games, so that's Akamai. So there, a few things to know. So yeah, this is Scott's Miracle Grow SMG. Take a look at 2020 from March 80 to 145. So I am taking a look at great earnings reports. Some I can understand, some I am actually surprised with. So Visa, wait up. So Visa, take a look. Okay, so great earnings reports. So okay, the thing about great earnings reports is that some people might be surprised, but some people aren't surprised. Like for Visa, I don't think anyone truly were surprised. So the upside is probably little for this name. Plus payment processing is a different scenario in the next few quarters if lots of people are still jobless. What else? You've got Starbucks. Actually, even if Starbucks managed to make a good earnings report this week, I still see Starbucks having a problem at 83, 84. So the reopening recovery theme, I'm not too keen on these. It could be just a blip to me. I'm still not of the belief that we are past out of the woods. So good for Starbucks that it actually reported great earnings, but I still see that this is a range. So from about 70 to 80, 80 to 84 might actually be sold down by some people. And then of course you've got the Nasdaq tonight. Some people are actually scared ahead of the earnings reports. You could see that at 11,010.5, it's just really hanging by a thread. If the earnings are bad, then it can go back to about 10,000 or 9.7. So I'd rather have some preparation rather than prediction. So whatever happens, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so Thursday, tomorrow, it doesn't matter what Shopify reports or what Spotify reports. Spotify reports earnings tonight after the close. I'm bullish. I hold companies that I like even on earnings. So I don't mind what they'll say on the earnings front. I believe in Spotify. So whether it drops at 240 or goes to 300, I'm willing to handle the volatility. So Spotify, I'm a hold. Shopify will report their earnings. It doesn't matter to me if it's good or bad. If it's good, then it's good. If it's bad, it doesn't matter. It goes down where? It goes 750 or 800, I'll be a buyer. So I think Shopify is also making an offering. It could be negative in the short term. Let me read the news about Shopify. Something about filing hundreds of millions. Let's take a look at the news on Shopify. Anyway, this round, it's pretty much extended. So a lot of the winners are quite extended. So it's not a problem to me if we see a 10% slide. So example, if C Limited slides 10% from 116 to 100, it's not a problem. I think right now the winners, they have a lot of outperformance. It's actually healthy to see some profit taking on either an earnings call that isn't up to par. So yeah, so for all the listeners, watch out for the earnings season. It's gonna be choppy. Some would go up, some would go down. But if you believe in the secular stories of the companies you own, then you should just be aware of the potential drawdown. That's it. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Thank you.